Hi, good evening to everyone, and welcome to the author of Just a Miracle, Neena George, and to our reader, Neena Mathew. Hi, Neena.
Hi, Meenakshi.
Hi. Okay, so today we are in conversation with the author as well as a reader, and the idea is to talk about the book. And Neena Mathew has recently read the book, and we would love to know, Neena, what do you think about the book? What did you like about it, and how would you recommend it to other readers?
Since the time I held the book, I couldn't keep it down, first of all. And the second thing is that in India, I have not seen a book like this coming up, in the open arena for everyone to read. So I think it's um, really commendable on part of Neena to come up with a topic like this, which is definitely it's not openly discussed even today. It's not, even if we have come to the 21st century, going to the 22nd century, no matter how modern we are, but still this book has it all, and she has put her heart and soul into the book. Every word says that. So yes, it's a different book altogether, very unique.
So, it's very interesting that you said that this is not a topic which people openly talk about. And you are also a kind of a life coach, you call it like a happy life coach. So, what do you say about topics which typically are sensitive, but they need to be talked about? I mean, does it somewhere resonate that people need to talk about such subjects?
People need to talk about it, yes, definitely. But most of the time, what happens when such kind of topics are brought out in the open, including me, I'm talking about myself also, most of us don't know how to guide the topic in such a way that, it is, we have empathy, we are aware of the people in that gathering, and we actually talk in such a way that boosts the morale of the people around us. Not, that consideration has to be there. So sometimes when we are included in a gathering, the topic itself, it's not done deliberately by you or by me. It's never done deliberately.
True.
But the thing is, when the conversation goes on and on and on, you have to contribute in the in that phase of contribution. You might say something which you have not deliberately or wanting to hurt someone, but things happen like that. So we need to be guided in those areas, so that that empathy factor is there.
So I think what I see common between Neena Mathew and our author Neena George is this desire to help people, to use the tools of empathy, understanding, and awareness, and to create a little bit better communication between people. So, how do you think this book, Just a Miracle, has succeeded in creating awareness about a sensitive topic and also guiding us into having the right type of conversations with people? Like, can you give me some specific things which you loved in the book?
There were a lot of examples which Neena had given, and I'm sure many of the ladies or the couples who read this book would have undergone some kind of that situation. It is very relatable. Whatever she's written, it's very relatable. The people are relatable, and the doubts and the speculations about self, they are very relatable. But there is also a kind of light at the end of the tunnel, where she speaks about self-care, self-love. And in our journey of life, 99% of us, we forget ourselves. And that's a huge takeaway from the book for everyone. And she has given such wonderful tools over there for self-care and self-love. And amidst all the difficulties or problems that we have in our life, no one has, life is, you are there in the open. No one has a smooth life. You can never say that, I have a smooth life or a perfect life. But then if you have the right tools, if you have the right guidance, definitely you can sail through very well. And this book has it all.
No, very nice. She gave the examples of self-love and self-care. Would you like to comment, Neena, George? Would you like to comment on?
Yeah, I mean, I've also realized when I went through these issues, I realized that the only person who can love me the most is myself. The minute I don't love myself, how can I expect another person opposite me to love me? And when do I give up on myself? Because when I don't love me at all. When do we give up on ourselves? Like, when do we say that it cannot happen to me at all? That's a time when we don't care about us at all. So that's the time I realized that only if I love myself, I have a way forward in this life, in this journey. So I decided that, okay, the initial phase of that problem was there of, asking why me and the doubts and so many issues were there. But once I started accepting life, I thought loving myself was the first thing that I had to do. Get back to
Yeah,
things.
and Meenakshi, true, right. While I was reading the book, also I want to share one point. Like, the chapter starts with, the first chapter says, why me? And towards the end, it's like, risen like a phoenix out of nowhere. And it's like from a journey from why me to try me.
Yes.
And there you are.
Oh, that's good. That's a good way.
Very beautifully said. That it
Yeah.
starts with why me, and it looks, in the beginning that there is a lot of, sadness or difficulty in acceptance, but there's a lot of growth in the book itself, and very well said by Neena Mathew that it's become like by me, like I'm strong enough. And I can take on the world. So tell me this whole storytelling which Neena has used, which is her personal journey and a memoir style of storytelling. Uh, was that something which you as an individual, because you know the author also, did you find it in tandem with what you know about her? Was it a surprise for you to see that she'd gone through so much and emerged victorious?
No, it wasn't a surprise, but yes, I have spoken to her many times, and I knew her as a person who would, always rise to any occasion. I have always seen her with that radiant smile and the confident walk, and I knew that even if she has gone through anything in life, she must have really come up, fought with it, and that was a kind of image that I have, and I continue to have that of her. And through the book also, I was reading the book, the situations that she has mentioned, like, where the people might say something, or someone must have said, especially that guava tree, that comment made by that lady, that was like, if it would have been said to me, I would have just gone into my room and cried so much, because that's like really hurtful. But she has just come up with that, and then every situation which has put her down, or maybe which she felt hurt, she has a lot of questions at the end of those. I just loved those questions. I said, this is so Neena. This is so Neena, because, she just refuses to accept that situation. So in life, we also have those situations, and we just need to look at it with a different perspective. That's all. And
That's very interesting feedback. Very interesting feedback.
Very, very
That whenever there is a situation, there's a lot of questions. Neena, is that actually true of your style of dealing with situation, that you ask questions?
Yes. Even today, if you ask me, like, whatever I have to do, okay, I have questions in my mind. I ask the question myself, and I find out the solutions myself, because I always feel that we've all the resources within us. We don't have to go and search it anywhere. Just that you have to ask yourself and clarify, okay, are you at it? Are you really, are you really clear about what you want to do? So this is something, an exercise that I do very regularly. And if I come to a situation where I have to select between two things also, I'll always ask myself, are you very clear you want to do it? Are you very clear about it? Would you have a regret after you go with the decision? There's something which I keep asking myself. And in general, in my life also, I don't go with decisions which I would feel I'll regret later. I don't like to say that, oh my God, I shouldn't have done it. But I still, even if it's a little late, I still prefer doing what I feel is correct. I mean, questioning is my style of working in any case. And I feel that has done me a lot of good. Done me a lot of good.
Yeah.
So I think hats off to Neena Mathew for actually figuring out that
Yes,
you have
yes,
this whole style of self introspection, reflection,
yes.
and then coming out with the answers within. So because both of you are also associated with coaching, I think one of the very relevant questions is, how does a book like this provide the tools for people to take care of their own mental, physical health and deal with all the societal pressures that we are always subjected to? We can start with you, Neena Mathew. How do you feel people can actually utilize the book to tap into their inner strengths?
Meenakshi, I feel, this book, more than the infertile couples, it is for um, people in general, because this book will actually give an understanding of what the other person goes through in life, which from outside no one will ever tell or express those feelings. And this book, if you read it, you will immediately identify a friend, a family member, a relative who is there, but probably it's kind of a bell ringing in your mind, or a click that, hey, I never thought, this person could go through so much. So that is the power of this book, that I feel.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Let's have that same question answered by our author Neena George. How do you feel like these tools we can use in our daily life? Like, of course, there's stories. So I feel like there are two parts of the book, which are happening simultaneously. One is the storytelling itself,
Mhm.
which has got so many lessons. But there's also that last part, learnings and takeaways. So I just wanted your comment on how did you decide to add that learning and takeaway? Was it part of that self introspection that people will need these tips?
Okay. Two things that I would like to say is, why did I select the storytelling? Why did I want to write incidents and relate it to people? Because, Meenakshi, all of us relate to stories very well, isn't it? I thought that's the best way of putting out my point across to people. Okay, this is the situation, this is how I felt, and this is what I learned from it. That means it's telling the author, sorry, telling the reader, if you come across any situation in your life, this is the way you can come out of it. This is my way, you can gain something out of it. That is one way of doing it. And the other part of it, if you ask me, learnings and takeaways, uh, if you ask me about what to talk and what not to talk to people, the I've written the infertile couples. That doesn't mean only infertile couples. It means that any person going through a difficult situation, like maybe they are going through depression, going through a divorce, going through somebody's death in the family, whatever situation they're going through. These are the ways that you can avoid asking them questions. You don't have to keep on interviewing and asking them questions. You can always be a friend to them. You can always be available for them. By your words, I mean, your actions itself, your body language, you can make them understand I'm there for you. And that's all that you need to do for others. So this is part of that. And then learnings and takeaways, like what I learned from this, empathy. Empathy is something that I've learned over the years. So something that people can take away from that. So many
It's
takeaways.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said, the story was part of getting my message across.
Yeah.
And the learning and takeaways is to help people interact, in a more empathetic way. Uh, Neena, how were you feeling when you were reading, the storytelling and then the learning and takeaways? Uh, how did it appeal to you, this whole idea of putting those myths and misconceptions and then the learnings? Was that a style that really works? And would you recommend that this is how it'll help people?
Storytelling definitely helps because it's the most relatable thing to do with when you are communicating with people. And what I perceived Neena as while reading the book, also through the stories, there was humor also there. A lot of humor through metaphors and comparisons and questions. So that kind of humor, if we could find in our situation, that is a game changer for everyone, to look for humor in that specific situation. But of course, very difficult situation you cannot. But especially where there was one incident where you came under the influence of your house help, who, when you broke the coconut, it was in the shape of a cradle, and you believed that suddenly. So that was really really interesting.
But I have to tell you, Neena, like recently also, my cook, he doesn't have kids, okay? So recently he broke a coconut, and believe me, it has broken in that shape. So I told him, I said, I told him, this is like this, and he's kept it there.
Oh my God.
No,
So
because when you talked about a hint of humor, but also faith. I think there is a
yeah.
mix of humor, faith, and when you believe something deeply, Neena
Hmm.
demonstrates in her book that your strength and all, they become in harmony with, feeling good, feeling basically good
Yeah.
about yourself. So I think the
Yeah.
whole cycle comes back to what we started with, self-love, self-care,
Yeah. Yeah.
finding light moments and picking those as your pointers for the future. So I'm glad you
Absolutely.
touched upon the humor, because there is a, like somebody else commented that she was living her life side by side. She was going for walks,
Always,
going for
always.
Hmm.
holidays. Yeah, so it wasn't like a
Yeah.
very depressing life per se.
No, no.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it was just that there was this one part of her life which
Yeah.
was giving her some anxious moments, and she wants
Yeah.
to help people through that, right?
Yeah. True. True.
So who would you recommend would really benefit from the book? I mean, I heard you say earlier, not necessarily only infertile couples. Who do you think would
Hmm.
really gain a lot from the book?
Um, if you have someone in the family who you feel, or if you know someone, definitely this book is for you. If you have a loved one who is going through this particular phase of infertility in your family, in your circle, inside circle, outside circle, this book is definitely for you. Because in our concern, in our over concern, in our care, in our overcare, we tend to break into the inner circle of people's private lives, or we don't know where we hurt them, or what our conversation should be. So we need to have that light and that guidance, so that we can spread that light to other people. So one reader can spread it to approximately 100 people who have not even read the book, but then through conversation this can happen. So that's the power of this book.
So beautifully said.
So
Yeah, very well said. Nina, you want to comment on what she just said,
Yeah, I
about
mean,
how this can help?
it can really help definitely in for infertile couples. Yes, definitely. And I think, Nina, it can be used for people in going through any situation, any difficult
mm,
situation, because
yeah.
whatever are the problems that we face, or whatever issues we face, the the solutions are all very similar, isn't it? Have
Mm,
patience, or you let it be. They're all similar things. So Take out, that's what I keep telling people, take out the infertility part of it and you put your issue into it, you can definitely get solutions for it, whatever you're going through. Recently, a friend of mine told me that he benefited a lot from this book because he says, I put myself in George's shoes. That's what he told me. I put myself in George's shoes and started thinking, if it was me in George's shoes, would I have behaved the same way? He says that changed my attitude towards my wife. He said, I started thinking like, what went wrong in my marriage? Am I a contributor in that? Till all these days, I've been blaming my wife. And he says, all of a sudden I started thinking, am I a contributor in that? So, I mean, this book can help so many of these people, not only infertility. That's
Yeah.
my personal feel.
Yeah, no, very nicely said. But I really liked when we started this conversation in this evening. She started by saying it's a subject that abroad people may still talk about, but in India it is still a taboo subject. And when you pick up a subject which is so sensitive, which is so difficult to discuss, and that too you narrate it through your very personal space,
Yes.
can't be easy. I mean, it's not like it requires physical courage, but it requires mental strength of character to go through it. And I think what she's done, I can speak from my point of view also, is made this topic very easy to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree, Neena? Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. While reading the book also, it's not easy to talk about, there's so much of detailed. I went through a mixed bag of emotions while reading the book. I was laughing, then I find myself in tears, and then wiping my tears and then laughing again. So it was like, it was a mixed bag of emotions throughout this book. So yeah, it's amazing the way Neena has come up with all the situations, and especially the painful situations. It's not easy to express, especially your I mean the miscarriage part. Then also talking about your personal physical relationship when you are actually being told, okay, now today is the day. So it's not your relationship with your husband, with your loved one. It's not like today is the day. It's not kind of a sports day or something like that, where you tell and then it happens. So you have brought it out so sincerely, so honestly, Neena, that I really admire your strength and your courage to express all that openly in the book. Really, hats off, salute.
Thank you so
Very
much.
well said.
Thank you.
Very well said.
See, again, Neena, when I was writing about this, I thought this part of an infertile couple has to come out. The reason being, like when you undergo infertility, you go for all these treatments, and what is a very private thing between you and your husband becomes a talk of a clinic. Everybody, all the staff know. They know, okay, her egg is ruptured, so today is the day. I mean, imagine the doctor telling you, okay, it's the day. And
it's already stressed. You're already stressed.
Stressed about it. And then that is something which I wanted to bring out. If a lady is undergoing infertility and then she's coming into a house where the in-laws or surrounding people are always pointing fingers at her, and then they should also understand that this is what this girl undergoes every month. It's not easy. It's not an easy path to go through. Again, I didn't want to, I wanted to bring it out very openly, but I wanted to, subtly put it. Not that, not going and telling people, okay, this is what we had. No, I want to, cover up a little, but open it too and put it. And then somehow I could do it. And I thought it was an important part.
Yeah,
No, but that's
definitely.
it's a very standout point. Many of our readers have said that the fact that she could talk about it just made it
Mm.
so much more normal. I mean,
Yes.
the
Mm.
situation is not normal, but talking about it is okay. You know, the
It's
situation may be
okay.
difficult.
It
Yeah,
is
but why
okay.
can't we talk about it and understand that this is something which, and this is not of her own choosing, right? It's a situation she has
Mm.
been placed in,
Yeah.
right? So really, it is not only admirable from the point of view of storytelling, but also I think the fact that all of us are able to reflect and talk about it itself is an achievement. I think it's really a joy to have, first of all, two Ninas, namesakes. Also so much insight coming from Neena Mathew, because I think of your training as a life coach and your own wisdom, which is helping you put this forward. And I'm pretty sure you'll also be carrying this message forward.
Yeah,
So thank
Definitely.
you. Yeah,
yeah, I
thank you
think
for doing
Meenakshi,
that.
like we were four Ninas in the course that we did. Four
Oh,
Ninas were there. Yeah, and and two of us from Kerala and two of them from Delhi, and four of us were there. And then, like you were saying about as a life coach, what she's doing, I think she's read it in a very different perspective because of her fact that she's contributing a lot as an educator.
Yeah.
So the way she's read the book itself is in a different, perspective altogether, right?
yeah,
An educator, a coach,
yeah.
and it reflects
It's
her
coming across.
coming
Yeah,
across, and
yeah,
it
it's
reflects the
coming
way
across
she's
from the way.
also, yeah,
Yeah.
how she is. It
So I think it will resonate. I think this
will
message
resonate.
will
It will
resonate with
resonate.
many people. And like she said, each one can light up, 100 lives with some compassion and empathy. So thank you. It's actually my privilege to be with two Ninas. Both of them are doing some amazing work. So all the
Absolutely
best.
my privilege to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's
Yes.
really good. It's really good. In fact, as an author, for me to get such great reviews from different people, it's really, really great. It's a great feeling, definitely. I can't put it across in words. It's much more than that. And getting feedbacks from people of different backgrounds. It's not that, some of them are young, very young people. Some of them are educators, like some are coaches. So it's really good. I mean, I feel very really great about it. Definitely, yes.
Thank you
So
to
thank
you,
you.
Nina, for coming up with this
Yeah,
book.
yeah. Yeah, I know. And the more we talk about it, the more I realize that it will impact everybody, not just now when you read it, but over time. We will
Yes,
just
definitely. Yes, yeah.
have that,
In
imbibe it
fact,
and keep it with us.
for me also, Meenakshi, from what I wrote the book, okay, it launched after that. Now, when I'm doing these interactions, that's the time I realize, my God, did this, whatever I wrote, did it have so much of an impact on so many different people? And everyone has got a different perspective.
Absolutely.
Really, really good.
Mm.
So thank you once again. And yeah, bye bye. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.